Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, James Laney, with my co-host, Kyle Johnson.
What's going on?
And our boy, Ryan Fahey, back again.
Oh, boys. Let's get it.
Some exciting news out there. Most of you will probably be listening to us on our podcast, Anchor or Spotify.
Just whatever's convenient.
Whatever. But this will be our first episode that will be up on YouTube. The link will be connected or put down in the description. But furthermore ado, let's get right into it.
Furthermore ado,
boys.
Furthermore ado.
Either way, we're going to start talking sports. Basketball not trade deadline. The start of the trade started. Wow, I'm tripping up on my words, boys.
What's going on, bro?
Not doing okay.
Sorry, James is drunk.
James, take a sip of seltzer real quick, please. All right, let's.
Is that Sprite cranberry?
No.
Oh.
Is adding James Harden to the Nets a good move?
No. Just not. No.
I mean, well, it depends on who you ask, though. If you ask James Harden, he's all in.
Well,
I mean,
apparently
I'm asking you.
He just denied that.
I know you're asking me. Definitely not, because the league is full of bunch of duos, and now you're gonna go and create a super team that, if it works, is just gonna run tables.
There's no way it works though. Those are the three biggest primary ball handlers in the league, and you're gonna put them on one team.
Yeah.
But I think KD, if KD's smart, he takes a shooting role, which he will do.
But even that, the bigger problem is James Harden and Kyrie. They're so dominant ball handlers.
Why would you even take the ball out of Kevin Durant's hands, though?
No, you can play him off the ball. You still give him. It's Kevin. You give him the ball.
Listen, they'd be fine at anything you ask them to do. The problem is I don't see them going 20 games without somebody bitching about fucking.
It's gonna be Kyrie.
It doesn't matter.
It's gonna
Somebody
be
saying
Kyrie.
something about like, I'm not getting the ball. I'm not getting this. I would rather. Funny enough, you say that. I would actually rather like to see James Harden, Kevin Durant get rid of Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
It depends on who the coach is that week. That's who's going to get the ball
Is
more.
it going to be Kyrie?
Is it going to be Kyrie? If Kyrie's the coach, Kyrie's getting the ball. But if it's Steve Nash, who knows? Because he's not even going to be a coach, apparently, according to Kyrie.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the problem, that Kyrie is... He wants to be a superstar, but now you're going to add James Harden. Not that it's happened yet.
I'll tell you, though, if you can get everybody to like act like
adults.
Grown men,
then it will work.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and it's...
Good luck, everybody else. This feels like a 2K my team. Like this...
Also,
especially if it goes through.
Can you imagine being a point in your life where you just go... When you look at someone offering you $50 million to play a sport and you go,
Nah,
dude. Nah.
Well, he's already got so much money. That's the thing.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. A point in your life where you can look at $50 million and go, nah. I'm all set. I'd do anything for $50. Anything, Kyle. Look at me like that again. Oh, okay. I got very uncomfy right there.
Let me go get my wallet.
But $50 million, he says no.
Clearly, he wants out then. Like, that's the thing. That's why he wants to go to the Nets.
Think about it. Everybody who was with the Rockets when James Harden, Mike D'Antoni, is on the Nets. That was like his guy. The owner, what's his face? I forget his name. But he's like the only one left from that original James Harden deal. And at this point, it's just kind of like...
Yeah, I've tried. And the thing is, like, he's tried. It's not like he's there for a year. Like, he's been there for a good chunk of his career where he's like, yeah, I'm ready to move on.
If I'm the Rockets,
I get why James Harden wants to move on and go play with these other talented guys, because it's like that My League kind of 2K thing where it's like, oh, cool, if we add these three great players, we're going to be great. Where it's like, on paper, it looks good.
Poor Russ.
But, well, he's going to be shipped out to Clippers or somewhere. My take, the Knicks.
He's going to Detroit. I think they just do a straight-up swap him for fucking Blake Griffin. Just bad contract for bad contract.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But with the Nets, I think it's going to implode on themselves, because if they were all just the kind of people with low egos where it's like, oh, you can have the ball. No, you can have the ball. No, they're clearly all give me the ball, I want to take the shot kind of guy.
Well, see, you need one of those guys. Like we're actually going to touch up on it in a little bit with Chris Paul going to the Suns.
Yeah.
But like I think you need a guy like Chris Paul on a team like that, because he's a proven leader. He's time and time again. You have the playoff talent. You have in Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They're clearly clutch. Chris Paul is another story, but with a player like that, like a leadership role, who can just be like, hey, stop being a whiny little bitch. Like, we got a game to play. Figure it out. I think that is going to like go a lot farther with them, or that would go a lot farther than a quiet guy like James Harden, who needs the ball to be successful. Like that's what I mean. I feel like it's gonna be like 3 people running around. Meanwhile, Kyrie and James Harden, and Kevin Durant are just sitting at the wings, waiting for a pass so they can just isolate their defenders.
They need a facilitator, kind of
Absolutely.
like Chris Paul. Not saying that Chris Paul would be the
They have
perfect
3
fit.
of the best ISO players if they get James Harden.
But the thing is, they need a guy that
is
is going to make plays rather than... They need to be able to make plays without the ball in their hand. And those guys need the ball in their hand.
They got to keep everything moving. Yeah,
That's the
I
kind
agree.
of thing.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong, they're all talented, but the egos and, I need to be the man, or if they all put their egos to the side, which these 3 players, I don't see doing that.
No.
The number 1, shockingly, I think would maybe be Kevin Durant, and even that, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I don't know. My main concern is Kyrie, because I feel like Kyrie's gonna just get going, like exactly what he did with Boston, like the subliminal messages and like saying stuff like low key, like away from everything, and just letting it kind of boil over until it's like it's this big problem. I don't know. I haven't heard anything out of him yet. He hasn't said much other than Steve Nash isn't my coach. So until that happens,
a joke.
Yeah. But until I start seeing some more things, I mean, it could work. And if it does work, I mean, that's good luck everybody else.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they do actually get it to click and work,
and that's
3 of the most talented scorers we have in the league right now.
Yeah.
You're going to get all 3 of those
Either
players.
one could drop 50 at any point.
Who would you double team? It's like,
no one.
if they
You
put
can't.
everything to the side, like their egos and all that, this team is going to be
If they put-
favorites.
If
If they get Harden, clearly.
well, yeah. But
Yeah, this
even
is
without
all a
him, though,
big if.
like, I like him just as a duo right now, especially because if they get Harden, they're going to have to give up Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, probably 2 first-round picks. I don't know who else would go in. You could probably throw Joe Harris into that mix in a sign-and trade. But, like, that's a lot of your depth. And the Nets have proven in the bubble, or they proved this year, that they actually, like, they're a playoff team, a borderline 8 seed in the East,
And now you're
without
gonna-
Kyrie or Kevin Durant. So,
And-
like, you have a lot of chemistry, you have a lot of depth, you have a lot of, like especially Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, too. He's another guy, like...
Right, but those 3 guys
Are,
could beat that team alone.
oh, I agree.
Like,
Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, with the team that they have, they already have the depth. Even if they don't do anything, I think the Nets are still in prime position for the best team.
I don't think it's a necessary move. That's my thing. Where it's
no,
like,
it's definitely not.
because if it was like Kevin Durant and Kyrie were playing last year and they didn't quite make it over the hump, I'm like, okay, go get James
we
Harden.
got to see.
But they haven't even seen Kyrie and Kevin Durant play together. It's like you got to see a little bit of Kyrie, but Kyrie was not going to bring that team anywhere. And then he got hurt. So now you add these 2 guys back.
Yeah.
I think it's a whole different team. I think it's an even better team. I just don't think it's a necessity to get him. If James Harden was a free agent, then I'd be maybe more towards it. But you'd have to give up a lot to get this guy.
Yeah.
I still think it's a bad move. I think James Harden needs to be the man somewhere. He needs a duo.
Oh, they got Jamal Crawford?
They signed him in the bubble just because they needed depth.
Yeah, listen, I hope he stays, because he's underrated and undervalued.
He
DeAndre
played
Jordan,
about 5
too.
minutes. He got hurt.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. That Cinderella story, or a comeback story, whatever you want to call it, did not last long.
Oof.
But
He'll be back.
yeah, another big trade this morning actually. Jrue Holiday to Milwaukee.
They gave up a lot.
Yeah, they did. They did give up a lot. Will adding Jrue Holiday keep Giannis in Milwaukee?
I think it's better than what they had. I don't know if it will. Bogdanovich, I literally thought that was going to be their only move, and I was like, that's the move you're going to make. I just bring it in
To keep Giannis, yeah.
to keep Giannis, and then they brought in Jrue Holiday, which he's a good defender. He can facilitate the ball.
They traded House, though.
They did. They so much.
5 picks is way too
So
much. for
much.
They
Jrue
should have
Holiday.
given that up for Chris Paul. Like that's what they should have been going for.
Listen, Jrue Holiday's a great player, but there's a lot you can do.
He's not.
He's not
that.
5 picks.
I think they're reaching. I don't think it's going to keep Giannis there. I don't think it's going to
I
be
think he's
enough to
gone.
keep him playing. I think he's going to finish out his contract, hit free agency, go sign somewhere else, wherever that is. But
Well,
Jrue
'cause
Holiday,
they-
if Jrue Holiday was a superstar, that's different. But he's not. He's a good player, but he's not 5 picks worthy player kind of
Yeah.
guy.
So my big thing with the Bucks, at least, is they clearly had the defense. They had one of the best defensive teams with in the league. Actually, I'm pretty sure they had number 1 for the regular season. Even in the playoffs, defensively they look good. The problem was any sort of offense, especially Eric Bledsoe. He was such a liability. So like getting rid of him, I understand. Jrue Holiday can kind of replace him defensively, and he gives you a boost offensively. But it's I don't know. It's tough, especially because like no, who the hell wants to play in Milwaukee? You're not going to get any of these lucrative free agents without Giannis. So I understand why they were like, okay, we need to make this trade, because especially with the 2021 offseason next year,
But
there's going to be a
wouldn't-
lot of people moving.
But why wouldn't they try to go get someone like James Harden and I'm not even a big
They
fan
don't
of
have
it,
the
like
assets.
someone like Russell Westbrook kind
They-
of thing.
You cannot offer a package if you're the Milwaukee Bucks like the Nets can offer for James Harden. There's no way. Not to
That's
mention,
true.
if James Harden wants to play for the Nets, the Rockets ownership, I would assume, is going to do right by him. But
Well, also, like, you would think also contract-wise, like, Harden needs to be traded. Like, correct? He's not, like, going to be a
Yeah.
free agent? Okay.
Right.
So he's going to be a free agent after this year?
I got you.
I think he's still locked up for 2 more years, actually.
Well, he just denied the extension, but yeah, as of right now,
Yeah, I think he's got 2 more years left on his contract.
All right. So even if
2 more
you
years
traded for Harden,
with a player option.
and there is a chance that you lose both, even and you give up House for him. Like there's a good chance that because Harden definitely obviously doesn't want to go there.
No, there's no way.
Like no.
I think
So
that
if-
would be a good duo, but I could see why he doesn't want to go play in Milwaukee.
That'd be
a lot of people don't.
yeah.
Giannis is the only attractive thing there, and he's going to be gone soon.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
You don't want to play with the Lopez brothers?
Yeah. What?
No,
on, bro.
Well, me personally, yeah, I'd like to play on any team.
They
I mean,
have
that'd be-
they have fun with the mascots. Don't you love that? Don't you love it? It's great product. It's a great product. The
No. So
okay.
I don't think it's going to keep Giannis there. It's kind of a desperate look to me. That's what I'm getting, where it's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, we have to get someone. So it's like,
They
look,
do.
Giannis,
You
look at what we
listen.
did. And I get that, but
Of course,
that
it's
was your top guy.
okay.
there was
one,
no one
hold on,
else.
though. Hold on, though. Of course, it's desperate because if I'm Milwaukee, my only goal, it's not even to sign anybody. It's not to bring anybody. It is to make sure Giannis signs the Supermax with my team. That is the only thing I give 2 fucks about. Everything else is irrelevant. So I understand where it's like,
I just don't think that's going to be enough.
I agree,
Ain't
but
no
I
way.
understand where they came from because they had to do something. If they did
No, I
nothing,
get
if they did
that,
nothing, he's
but-
gonna walk.
I just feel like there were better moves out there they could have made.
What though? There's nothing right now.
They could have attempted Chris Paul. They could have attempted.
How do you know they didn't? They could have. I mean, the problem is Milwaukee does not have any lucrative.
No, and I get that.
They don't have-
have any big assets.
There's a
They
reason
don't-
they gave 5 picks away. It's because they don't want the Lopez brothers. They barely wanted Bledsoe in a shitty contract. Who else went? I know. There was one other guy that went too. I
don't know.
either way.
I
they
get what
don't
they're
have the-
saying, where it's like Giannis is the goal. Keeping
That's the
Giannis
goal.
is the
That's
goal.
the
I
only
get
goal.
where like,
Yep.
oh, we're gonna give it 5 picks to get Jrue Holiday,
Can't even really trade Chris Middleton.
and
'cause he's on-
or maybe Giannis just falls in love with Jrue Holiday, and he's like, you know what, this is my guy.
he's
Kinda.
a good player.
No, he is, and I'm not trying to say he isn't, but like when you're talking about keeping Giannis Antetokounmpo on your team,
I think this opens up.
you gotta make. I mean, I get it. It's a big move. I just don't think it's gonna keep him there.
I agree, but I think this trade definitely upgraded them on offense and didn't really hinder them on defense. What they traded away was future assets. So if this plan doesn't work and Giannis leaves, Milwaukee
have to
going
win a
to be
ring.
the
well,
worst team in the
also,
league.
if Giannis
3
looks at
years.
it that way, they traded away the future.
Yeah, but a win now.
Right,
Yeah,
but then he wants to
so-
sign an extension to stay there longer. Their future's gone.
Yeah, so it's win or bust.
It's
Win or Giannis
It's
is gone,
win or
and they're
bust.
not.
They
winning
actually
it.
might be thinking of it. They might think of it as they need to win it one with him right now because he's gone regardless. That's what they probably thinking.
That could
And
be the
it's
goal.
their only hope of keeping him. If they don't win a ring, he's gone.
I'm more leaning towards they just know he's gone and they're trying to win it right now.
Well, that's the
and
thing. You win
it's just-
if you say that though. You win a ring. I'd be.
He's
tempted
not
to
coming
stay.
back because if he's smart, he knows the future's not there
No.
anymore.
Oh, I agree.
Because they traded away for Holiday's a good player, but he's not that.
No, I've always thought he's been a bit overrated. If I'm being completely
Yeah.
honest.
Oh, for sure, but like he's still a serviceable player.
Agreed. Yeah, he's better than
He's
than
just
what they had.
A win now. That was a win now trade because we know he's leaving no matter what we did, and that's exactly what it is.
Time will tell.
Suns made a big move yesterday. This actually happened here.
I love this.
They traded for Chris Paul. I like it. I'm not exactly sure what they gave up, but does adding Chris Paul make them a playoff team?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because he made OKC a playoff team, right? And they were what, like 15% chance to
There
make the
was-
playoffs
there
it
every
was
was
year?
less.
no
it was like
chance
the
that they
beginning of the
should've-
season. It was like 1%. Like it was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
that
Okay.
they
Yeah.
made it.
Something like that. So, yeah, sure, they'll make playoffs, but he's gonna ruin Devin Booker. Chris Paul is one of the biggest losers in NBA history.
Oh, come on.
He is.
No, he
That is a
but
fact.
So I agree with half that. He is one of the biggest losers, but I don't think he's going to ruin Devin Booker. I think
No
they're going to
way.
go
I
very
think he
well
is.
together
Ain't no way.
because, like we were just saying with the Nets, you need a
You
facilitator.
need somebody to
Devin Booker
facilitate.
can be your ball handler. Then you need the facilitator in Chris Paul. And DeAndre Ayton, could develop to be a great big man. He's not there yet, but he's still a good big man. So it's like, I think it'll work well. It brings in that veteran leadership too, where Chris Paul can be one. He doesn't have anyone like James Harden questioning him. I mean, look, he just proved it with the Thunder that, I can lead a team. We weren't supposed to be here.
There was no reason for the Thunder to make
Exactly.
it that far in the playoffs.
Now you give him good young talent around him.
I
I think they go. I see them in a lower seed, maybe second
yeah.
round, at most.
Oh,
I don't see them making a huge push.
They are gonna surprise a lot of people next year. A lot. Of people.
But do you consider them a contender?
Absolutely.
Really?
They went 8-0 in the bubble. Devin
Don't
Booker.
fantasize too much about that.
Devin Booker took a huge step forward. Huge. DeAndre Ayton,
Right.
even though he
okay.
was a number one pick, and hasn't fully lived up to that potential, I think this is the year that he does it, especially because of Chris Paul. Because I think a guy who can look at how it was working with Ricky Rubio. Okay, he also went in that trade.
Okay.
But Ricky Rubio was basically a poor man's Chris Paul with worse defense, probably just as good, maybe a little better passing, assist, like getting everything going. But he could not score like that. So you had two options in a young core like Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, who basically had to turn on the Jets against people like, Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, LeBron. Like,
I just think the West is going to be too tough because the Lakers.
oh, West is going to be tough.
The Lakers are going to add somebody. Golden State's coming back.
Golden State's coming back, and they will have the second
They
pick.
have the second pick. Whether they trade it, whether they draft someone.
They got to draft. They have to pick. There.
But this is the thing.
They're going to
where
get
it's like,
Wiseman.
Dude,
that's
jeez,
huge.
that's-
Exactly. So they get the best big man coming out of college.
Listen,
I just don't think they're going to be. The Clippers are going to make a move. They're going to do something. They could add Westbrook. I've heard rumors of that.
If they add Westbrook, I think the Clippers are in the same boat the Nets are. They're going to blow it up.
But this
Or
is.
they're going to ruin their chances, really.
But I mean, there's just so much talent in the West that I think they'll compete, but I don't see them as true contenders. You could say dark horse. I'm not against that, but I'm not a true contender kind of guy.
I'm on board.
See, this is what I was trying to say though. Like what you just said, Devin Booker took a huge step forward. That is it's his team.
I think
It's his team, and now he brought them there himself. They went 8-0 in the bubble because of Devin Booker. There isn't a debate on that.
he asked for this trade, Devin Booker. He pushed the Suns front office. He's like, I want Chris.
Yeah, okay, but this is gonna be his first test to have another superstar player next to him, and we haven't seen him react in that way. So it all depends on how he is.
We
and
have
if
seen
he's
it
okay.
work, though.
Right, but not with him. We haven't seen it yet. So I'm just just Chris Paul, as all these stars, he's got an ego. It's just it's Phoenix. They haven't been good since Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Just how can they deal with that together? I don't know. Even if he pushed for it, good.
I think with Chris Paul, just being the person that he is, I actually don't think comparatively to most of the stars in the NBA, I actually don't think he has that big of an ego.
I just think he hates laziness and guys that don't want
That's-
to try. That's the more the vibe
I
I
actually
get
think
from
he's
him.
a phenomenal leader. As a
I
point
just
guard,
think
he's a
overall
great
he's
player.
one of the biggest losers in NBA history because he's never done anything. But I don't think he's a bad leader.
No.
I don't. I
And
think
I
it's going to
actually-
work very well, but I don't see them as contenders. I gotta see.
Yeah,
it.
hell no.
I think
No
adding
way.
that extra scoring option outside of DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, that backcourt is phenomenal with them two in there.
Oh,
and
I'm excited to see.
If you
them.
can
It's
build
gonna
up,
be-
if you can build up the right chemistry, that's going to be tough.
that's what it comes down to.
that
That's
would
what
be-
it comes down to every time.
That would be a backcourt that I would put, even if the Nets got Harden, if the Nets got James Harden and Kyrie Irving versus Chris Paul and Devin
Well,
Booker,
Chris Paul and Booker will connect better because
I
Harden.
think they
like
will.
We talked about.
That's what I'm
Harden.
saying. I think Chris Paul and Devin Booker is a more valuable backcourt than Kyrie Irving and James Harden.
No, I
You
can
heard it
agree
here
with that,
first.
but just overall as a contender,
Oof.
I don't see them
You
getting
heard it here
past.
first.
I do not like that take.
You don't like that? I mean, pure talent alone. Clearly, the Nets would be better between
Pure
the two.
talent, yeah.
Pure talent,
I'm not.
Pure talent.
That's
Nets.
what the league is though.
What do you mean, pure talent?
No, you need chemistry. You need some chemistry. I think Chris Paul and Booker.
Look at what Kyrie did.
Overall
Look at what
is-
Kyrie did to the Celtics. Just chemistry alone. He fucked us. If we didn't get rid of Kyrie Irving, our team would be a lot worse right now. Danny Ainge just made the right move, just getting rid of him.
Oh no, fair enough. But we were a better team. We had chemistry with Isaiah Thomas. We traded him for Kyrie Irving. Became a better team.
Not by much.
We did. Though.
Isaiah took us far.
Neat.
And-
we were an overachieving team.
Yeah,
Overachieving.
because of the leadership.
And what did get us?
I mean,
But that's the
Nothing.
thing.
We
where
knew
I
we
think-
weren't gonna go
I think
anywhere
Chris Paul
with
doesn't
that.
have that big of an ego, so he's going to be able to. I think him and Booker will work well together. I don't think it's quite there to be a true contender yet.
we will see. Another one.
That's all we got for basketball. Let's move on to some football. Cardinals had a crazy win the other day with the Hail Mary to DeAndre
D-Hop,
Hopkins. That was awesome to
D-Hop's
watch.
still up there.
He's literally. But it begs the question: are the Cardinals true Super Bowl contenders?
Listen, I've been raving the Cardinals all year. I've been on the Kyler Murray hype train. I've always loved D-Hops. I'm going to go with yes. I really think so, especially if their defense gets a little bit better. If their defense can figure it out by the end of the season, like start actually holding teams like, I don't know, Green Bay or like just good off. Like, let's see what they do this week against Russ, because they have proven that they can have bad weeks, hence last week. That offense is phenomenal, like the Seahawks. So I want to know how, because I think it's going to be a shootout. It's probably going to be like a 30-plus point game. I want to know how Kyler does, or not how Kyler. I want to know how this defense does, rather, against Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Like if they come out this week and have a phenomenal like defensive week, 25 points, something like anything under like that threshold, yeah, I think they're a Super Bowl contender.
See, my thing is at best another dark horse because offensively, I think they're there. They're there. It's
100% they're
it's
there.
proven.
100%.
There's no debating that. Push that to the side. It's the defense.
Yep.
It's not there yet. I think another year, maybe not
They're
even
this
another
close.
piece.
They're also
I just think they
also
need to
missing
develop.
Chandler Jones.
They're this close.
Exactly. So that's the missing piece. That huge pass rush right
Yeah.
there.
That's huge.
I know, but that's why I
Gigantic.
just don't think. I think the defense is too young right now. I don't think it can compete with these top tier offenses quite yet.
Well, they're going to be a playoff team.
They're gonna.
No question
Yeah.
about it. There's
Yeah.
definitely they're going to be a playoff team, especially with that 7th seed. There's no questioning that. I'm not saying they're going to be the 7th seed, but I just don't think the defense is there to compete up against these top offenses. I mean, look at the Bills. When they're clicking, they're good. They won because of Hail Mary. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy play, but you got to look at it. The defense struggled against the Bills.
The Bills, well, yeah, fair enough. Well, the Bills' offense is actually, like you said, they've been clicking. Stephon Diggs looks like,
That's what I'm saying. So it's
They're still not fully on full chemistry yet either. Too. That's the scary part.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I just don't. I think the defense is too young. I don't think it's there yet. You add Chandler Jones back next year, keep the team 80% of what it is. Offensively, it's gonna be fine. Defensively, I think it's just gonna develop. They have Isaiah Simmons who plays defense. Like I say that because he said that at the combine. Like he plays every position needed.
literally. Isaiah
So,
Simmons is going to be the next.
Buda Baker's a beast. Like it's almost there. It's
I really-
almost there. I think one more year.
I think it could be one more week. They need to click. I think the talent is there. Like you said, Buda Baker, Isaiah Simmons. They have the linebackers. Chandler Jones needs to come back. Theo Riddick's been okay. Who else do they have? I think their biggest problem defensively is pass rush, and I think
Which
that's a
not
lot
having
of
Chandler Jones is a huge.
It's a
hit.
huge thing, yeah. But like their coverage, other than Patrick Peterson getting absolutely torched by Cole Beasley, Byron Murphy Jr. I think is the rookie they had. He's been clicking. He's been playing well.
That's my thing. Is they're
They
rookies.
need the
They're
pass
young.
rush.
The pass rush is the big thing. They're like this close to being real contenders.
We'll see next week.
I don't think it's there.
If they go out, if they beat Seattle next week and they beat them like on the defensive side, like if they actually do some stuff to Russ and that offense, especially with Chris Carson coming back, then we have that's a real.
Yeah, Russ is starting to slip a little bit too, so it'll be bigger than take
Little
advantage
bit.
of it.
Yeah,
I also think-
that's the
I
thing.
also see
If they make Russ look
bouncing
like a
back.
fool, then it's like okay, then we can start talking about it again maybe.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I don't see it. Dark horse at best.
Listen, I've been riding that wave this whole season. Even before the season started, I'm
Yeah.
a huge Kyler Murray fan. So
Oh, Kyler Murray's legit. There's no questioning
Oh,
that.
it's-
There's no
yeah.
questioning anyone on offense, really.
no.
At best, their offensive line. Like, that's it. And even, I don't
Even then, but
they
that's the
haven't
thing.
looked bad this year.
Well, that's the thing. The usually with offensive lines, like if I hear about them, they're either good or they're bad. If I don't hear about them, they're doing all right.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, Kyler Murray's mobility definitely helps with
it's
that.
huge. The fact that he doesn't get hit too is unbelievable. Like he is the best open field runner.
Well, it's also because he has a great sliding ability because of his baseball background.
Yeah. Well, that and
He's an athlete.
he's just so smart. Like instead of he knows when it's like, okay, 3rd and 10, maybe I go fight for this yard, or you know what I mean. 2nd and 5, 1st and whatever. He's like, yeah,
He's-
no, I'm
he's
not
not-
taking the hit. There's no need.
He's
Run
not
out of
running like
bounds.
a young Cam Newton kind
No,
of thing, where
no.
which I get why.
He can't run like a. I mean,
No.
Cam Newton's built like a blimp.
Exactly. So I get that difference.
Side note on whatever, I didn't realize the Rockets are probably going to blow everything up because they're actually finalizing a deal to send Robert Covington to Portland for Trevor Ariza, a 2020 first-round pick, and 2021 protected first-round pick. So they're getting rid of Covington, so they're probably.
So Harden and Russ will be out soon.
Jesus.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
to football, though.
Of course.
Fantasy time, boys.
Oof.
Stardom, sit-ems. Let's start with stardoms. Quarterback. You boys go first.
What do I have? Hold on, is this week's or last week's?
Okay, Faye, you go first.
All right. So last time I did this, okay, week 9, I believe it was week 9. I started Philly Rivers. All right. Week before that, he put up 28 points. Looked really good. I was like, know what? He's streaky. I'm gonna go with it. He put up a 7. Okay, and like
That's pretty. That's
Alright.
about as streaky
you know,
as that gets.
I was solid on him. I liked it, and we posted it on Twitter. Out of nowhere, I'm gonna give a shout out to him real quick. The hard-earned yard at hard-earned yard on Twitter found us, saw my pick, chirped me immediately. This goes, Fahey, never start Rivers. So James and Kyle, do you want to guess who I'm starting this week? Phil Rivers, just to spite them. I know what?
He's not lying too. I watched him pick up Phillip Rivers in his fantasy team.
He's starting.
He's starting, folks. I'm starting him, and it's thanks to hard-earned yard. Shout out to y'all. I hope he puts up 50 so I can just laugh at your face.
I can't wait for them to put up.
I was
like
gonna say, it's
6.
gonna be
It's gonna be
next
another
week. It's gonna be
7.
seven.
I know. I say that he's gonna put up like 3. I can't wait. It's gonna be great. You know what? Who are your quarterbacks? That was my take.
I'm going Big Ben.
Oh, so we're all keeping old men this week.
Yep. So I'm going with Big Ben. Jackson's defense. It's underwhelming. It's not that great. Juju's starting to click again.
That whole
Chase Claypool has some big games. Eric Ebron. Steelers on a roll. They haven't lost yet.
Steelers are probably my biggest contender to the Chiefs right now.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So Big Ben. I think that's pretty basic right there.
Fair enough. Alex Smith, starting him this week against the Bengals.
Not that old.
Listen, Alex Smith is like 34.
Oh my God! Start digging.
I don't know. This man almost died. Like Alex Smith, we're starting him this week. I love the comeback story. I don't think anybody's talking about him. He's only owned in 5.8% of the leagues. Going against the Bengals, their defense has been ass all year. So, and yeah, 2 last week. The big thing that impressed me with him is he does not really look all that timid like I thought he was going to. I mean, he put up like 350 some odd yards.
He had a career high.
Yeah, no
I
touchdowns.
think it was almost 400 actually.
Oh, it was gross. No touchdowns. No interceptions though. So really no mistakes from Alex Smith last week. And that was probably the biggest takeaway where, like, even though he didn't score, I mean, that's an anomaly for quarterbacks, especially when you almost throw 400 yards. Yeah, bad defense, good quarterback, not really owned. I think he checks all the boxes. And I like the story. I absolutely love it.
Ironically, he watched Phillip Rivers tape to learn how to play without using his legs, like running.
Did he really?
Yes.
That's hysterical.
So, just fun fact of the day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, look at James dropping tidbits.
Fun fact.
Who
Who you got at running back?
I'm gonna go with Joshua Kelly. He's a pass catching back, the Chargers. Strictly because they are playing the Jets, and I think
I like that theme.
Yeah, and I think that Herbert's gonna go off again, and I think he might. This is a big might, but I think Joshua Kelly gets involved a lot this week. So I would start him.
Yeah, I'm going with the other Chargers running back, Kalen Ballage.
You you know what?
Well, listen, I said start him last week. Okay, hold on, I have it pulled up. I said start him last week. He was only owned in 8.6% of the leagues, and he got 15.2. That's 2 weeks in a row that he has been he's been like the primary back subbing in for Justin Jackson and Austin Eckler. And like you said, it's the Jets. I mean, he's been getting all the touches. He had, I think, 15, 16 carries last week. Like he has taken over. He actually has been playing well enough to where I think when Austin Eckler does come back, he might still find some time in that offense. So he's up 40% from last week. And yeah, he's playing the Jets. So
I'm going Naheem Hines. He's playing against the Packers, who's ranked 31st against running backs. He had a big game last week. I don't think he's going to have as monster of a game.
Did you see that flip or whatever he did?
No, I didn't actually.
He got in the end zone, did like a full
Oh, he did a full.
Like a bunch of
Yeah, he did a
twists
full.
and shit.
I think that was a couple weeks ago. But yeah, no, I did see that.
Impressive.
But the Packers struggle against running backs. 10, 15 points. I'm not expecting a huge game out of him, but if you need a filler guy for the week, he's your man.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, boys.
Oh, I actually got a good one. Alan Lazard. He was that rookie for Green Bay who ended up getting hurt. He was having a great season, then he got hurt for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So the reason I think, even if he doesn't play this week, he's definitely worth the pickup, because if they keep him out one more week, they're going to have to put him on season-ending IR. So, yeah, the Packers are literally going to be forced to put him, end his season, and I don't think they want to do that, especially being contenders. So even if he doesn't play this week, I think he's worth the pickup, just being the number 2. He was solidified himself right behind Devontae Adams. So yeah, he's owned in 44.5% of the leagues. That's way down from what it was. He's playing the Colts. They're a good defense, but I think he's just being Aaron Rodgers' number 2 alone, I think that makes him worth picking up. But
I'm going Larry. Good old Larry Fitzgerald.
No knees.
Interesting.
The reason I'm going with him, even though I think Hopkins is going to have the bigger game, clearly, they're playing against Seattle, who can't defend the pass at all.
Yeah,
it's been proven.
I got a feeling that's
I think Larry's just going to get a lot of short catches, slant kind of things, which he's been doing. Yeah. So I see him having maybe another 12-point game out there. Not so much big yardage, but more receptions. Hopkins is going to be clearly doubled the whole time. I think it's going to give Larry an option to get open. I know he's a little slower now, but that gives him more opportunities to get open.
Just the way that offense is facilitated, too. I feel like Larry, all he does is just find spots, especially in zone defenses. With Kyler moving, he's just finding soft spots in zones. He's not trying to outrun anybody. He's not trying to...
And he's smart enough to find them.
It's the thing, yeah.
And Seattle's defense
that's the big point, is he's smart enough to find them. He knows what play... Yeah.
And Seattle's defense is just not good.
Yeah,
it's a liability.
Oh, yeah.
Who was your pick again?
Alan Lazard.
Okay. The Green Bay, right?
Green Bay,
okay, because full honesty, I was not paying attention, and then I heard you say Green Bay, and my receiver's from Green Bay, and I didn't want to have the same take and be like, listen to what I did, and it's the same receiver. But my pick is Valdez Scantling.
Oh, he killed it last week.
He did.
He's a big dude. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, but he's at 24 last week. He got 19 the week before. It might be a little bit tougher because Indiana's defense is pretty decent, but I trust Rodgers, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's Aaron Rodgers.
It's Aaron Rodgers, yeah. That's exactly why. But yeah.
See, I'm thinking Lazard steps right back into that role. If not this week, next. I would take the risk, though, this week. I think it's going to be a high-risk, high-reward play.
Yeah. Either he's going to be booty or he's going to get you 20.
Pretty much.
Tight ends. I'll start with this.
Oh, yeah. You never start.
Kyle Rudolph with the Vikings. He's been quiet this year. He's owned in 8.2% of the leagues, but he's going up against Dallas. And Dallas is a
not
mess.
Even a defense.
It's such a mess. We make fun of Dallas all the time here on the show. I think Kyle Rudolph takes advantage of the beat-up linebacker core, who is mostly going to be covering him. The secondary is booty. There's no pass rush. I think it's his week. I think he could have a good game. That's
Fair
what.
Enough.
Start him.
Well, they have
Start him.
Oh. Like, what the hell are you talking to? Irv Smith, or is it Ish Smith? Irv Smith? I know it's Smith.
Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah. He's actually, he hasn't done too much just because of that offense, but he's impressed me from what I've seen with them. I actually said sit this guy last week. Logan Thomas versus the Bengals. He's tight end for the Redskins, like I said, he's with Alex Smith. He did a good week last week, even though I said sit him. Yeah, he had 10.6 against the Lions, so not awful, but he is getting targeted. And I noticed since Alex Smith has came, or since he's
filled in,
he's going a lot to tight ends. He's just dumping it off.
Well, he plays the smart game where it's just like, oh, there's no one deep, so let's check down. Gotta do check downs.
I think this is one of those, he's going to benefit just from the better quarterback in Alex Smith versus Dwayne Haskins or Kyle Allen. But yeah, I got him against the Bengals, owned in 30.1% of the league, so if he's out there, is where they fly at tight end. This is always the hardest part for me, though.
Yeah, well, it's because we always say there's like 3 guys that are definites, and besides that, it's week to week.
Yeah, you really got to hope for the best.
I would start Austin Hooper.
I was thinking about saying him.
I like that.
I was close.
Yeah, I mean, it's Philadelphia. I think is just kind of ready just to throw it in. So, and
I called that game last week,
and he's starting to actually he just got back, but like before he got hurt, he was actually getting targeted finally because Baker was like, "Oh, I should probably use my tight end," and good. Like he's like when he was with Matt Ryan. One of the best
he's a
tight
big
ends.
dude. He's like 6'.
Yeah, he's a good tight end.
6'8", 6'7".
Yeah,
you just have to use him.
Yeah.
And Baker wasn't, and then he got hurt, and now last week put up a point. But hey,
well, actually, with Odell out too, I think that's going to start. We're going to start seeing more and more to all the other receivers.
It's going to branch out. Yeah,
I think there's a lot more volume to go around with them.
Yeah.
We got defense.
Defensively, I got Chargers for one reason only. They're playing the Jets. That's it, folks. The Jets are booty. Play the Chargers. That's it. That's all I got.
I'm going Dolphins. Dolphins at Denver. Thrown in 48.5% of the league. Denver's been playing like ass. I don't know if it's 100% their fault. I mean, they have however many millions of dollars, $50 million on their IR.
Say it all the time.
So, but yeah, Dolphins have been playing really well. They're clearly rallying behind Tua. They think they have a shot. I think they have a shot, at least to be a playoff team.
Yeah, playoff team.
So they're kind of rallying right now, and I think that defense too has shown over the last couple of seasons under Brian Flores that he knows what he's doing, and I think they're just going to take advantage of a beat up Denver team. So they're owned in 48.5, so they're out there, and I think they're actually the 9th best defense as of right now. They've been quietly.
They're kind of like the Titans last year. They're like have no superstars, even though I think the Titans defense last year.
Imagine if they kept Minka. I think you said that last week.
I did.
Yeah, imagine if they kept Minka.
I just don't think he liked it there.
No.
Well, they were also like very bad when he was there.
They were the Jets of
like very like
2
terrible
years ago.
That's so sad.
But I'm sticking in Cleveland. I'm going the Browns defense.
They've been playing well.
They have been. They also. I mean, it's also Philly again. And anytime like the projection has a defense in the double digits, just take a flyer out on it, see what happens. Like just
name one person on Philly's O line that's going to block Myles Garrett?
That's what I mean.
No one.
Like
all 5 of them at once.
All 5 at once. Yeah.
All 5 of them. Okay, everybody just block Myles.
Yeah, I mean they're only in 20% of leagues, so they're there for the taking, and they're projected to get in double digits. That could win you a week. That alone, so I mean, it's well worth it for me.
Yeah.
So those are the boys we love out there today. But who we not feeling? Who we sitting at QB?
Yo, sit Carson Wentz's dumbass every week. I called it last week. I was like, the Giants are gonna steamroll Philly. What did I say? Yeah, no, Carson Wentz has not. He has not impressed. He has just been awful all year. He puts up very inflated, irrelevant stats, and even last week against a okay Giants defense, he looked awful. And yeah, who the hell is going to block Myles Garrett? Good luck. I'm sitting Carson Wentz this week. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Well, kind of close similarities here. Jared Goff, 1 and 2 pick right there.
Yeah.
I think he's going to struggle against Tampa Bay just because they run a lot of play action. Tampa Bay has a good pass rush.
They also totally switched it up from that Saints game. That was just a bad week.
Yeah. So the Bucs are still a good team. The defense is, they just got to become a little more disciplined, a little more consistent, which I think they're going to play good again this week. But the Rams rely so much on the play action that I think it's going to bite them in the ass just because it gives them more time to get to you. It's simple. It's basic. Any football fan would really know that.
Yeah.
Sit Jared. I think he's going to struggle.
Fair enough.
This is probably going to be one of the hottest takes this podcast has had. I would sit Russell Wilson.
Wow.
Funny you say that.
I would sit him only because I think he's going through something right now, and I think Arizona's riding this high of that win previously. Their defense isn't bad, and Wilson has not been Wilson for, 2 weeks now?
2 weeks, yeah.
Like, I trust Wilson to get out of it, but I don't know if it's going to be next week, because this might be one of those trap games for Seattle again.
I can kind of agree with it. Funny enough, actually, I have Kyler and Russ as my 2 quarterbacks. I'm sitting Russ. Like, I'm starting Kyler.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because defenses, but
even without I've been starting Russ most of the season. The last couple weeks, I've been like,
yeah, I would sit Russell Wilson this week.
Yeah.
Depending on who your backup quarterback is, but like
I got Carson.
You're starting Russ.
my backup's Daniel Jones. Like, no,
Yeah.
stop. He can't even run.
Yeah,
Like, let's.
You know what I will say? A side note about Daniel Jones. Like, he does not give a damn if Myles Garrett is haul-assing unblocked through the hole. He is going to step up and try to make a throw. I will give him that. I just think he's oblivious to pressure.
Yeah.
I think he has no idea. But, side note, running backs.
Running backs, James Robinson. He's been playing great this year.
How dare you?
I know you really like him.
He's a sit it and forget it. He's a set it, forget it player.
No, you're going to sit him this week for one reason only. They're going up against the Steelers defense.
Don't care.
That's the only reason. They're going to lock him down. He's going to struggle a lot. This will be his first game where he really doesn't perform.
I think that's a hotter take than Russ.
What weapons offensively do they have,
Doesn't matter.
James Robinson. You're going to sit him.
They have been...
Sit him because he's going to get steamrolled by that front seven.
Did you see what Jacksonville just did to Green Bay? They almost won.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Does the Packers have a dominant defense like the Steelers?
Listen.
No, they don't. No,
They have
so
a
that's
top-
all
they
that
have a
matters. I don't care
they have a
how
top
well
12 defense.
I don't care how well that offense or defense. All that matters is that Steelers defense against James Robinson. James Robinson ain't doing nothing this game. The Steelers front seven's gonna go, look, listen, pal, sit down.
Listen, okay.
That's what's gonna happen.
James, there are certain players every season that you set and forget. You don't ever question taking them out of your lineup because all they do is get points. Travis Kelce's one of those players. George Kittle, if he's not hurt, I think is another one of those players. James Robinson this year is one of those players.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
For almost
he has
every
literally
game.
never gotten less than 10 points.
This game will be the
Fucking
first.
off his stats.
It's going to be the first. I don't care about his stats. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think the Steelers defense is just going to stop him.
I'm looking at it right now. Kyle's not wrong. So,
No, I'm not saying he's bad.
No,
I'm just saying the Steelers defense is going to lock him down.
Set it, forget it. Don't listen to him, ladies and gentlemen. This man's a fraud and a liar.
Actually, I mean, the only other looks like the only other good defense he faced was Indiana.
Chargers defense is okay.
Indianapolis, and he only put up 8.
Exactly. So in the
He
Steelers,
torched the other guys.
Yeah,
What do you
I
mean?
know he's good. I get
When
that.
did he put up? He's literally never put up less than 10 points.
That's cap because I'm looking at it.
Oh, do you not do PPR?
I don't know.
Either
what
way,
this league is.
sit James Robinson. Thank me later. Who you got?
I'm sitting Aaron Jones.
Wow. Okay, now we're
Wow.
talking hot takes.
What's
going on?
Well, I just think it's gonna be a shootout. Like I said, like I just said with Robinson, like they shut him down pretty much. I mean, I don't whatever league you whatever do you, but
I don't know what fucking fancy.
But I would sit
rules you got
Aaron
going on.
Jones this week.
Aaron Jones.
I think it's gonna be a Rodgers game, like completely.
One of the only reasons I can agree with that, and I'm like barely agreeing with that, is because Aaron Rodgers, like I was saying with James Robinson, there's players who are set it and forget it. Even on his bad weeks, he's putting up at least 10 points. James Robinson, just from volume alone, even on his bad weeks. Aaron Jones, when he is off, is fucking off. Like he is either putting up 45 or he is like a solid 6.5.
Yeah, not like it hasn't been crazy stats either. Like
No.
it's just he had week 2, he put up 40 points.
Well, that's the thing. That's
like,
he's
or
either
if he dropped the 50 bomb, and it was some of the leagues too. But
yeah, he reminds me a lot of like, I don't know, another good player like Tyler Lockett. 50-point game followed by like 4 8s in a row. So it's like, I that's the only reason I can get behind that. I don't hate that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking it's more
This could be the
the
week,
deep.
too.
Yeah, I think
Just
it's more
against Indy.
Rodgers' football game this week, if anything.
Oh, yeah, I would start him, but, not my take. Not my take.
You goddamn right, it's not your take.
Sitting running backs. I'm going to keep it in the Jones family. Ronald Jones versus the Rams. I'm sitting him.
Ooh, interesting.
So he had the monster game last week. He had a 97-yard touchdown run. The Bucks actually look better when they get the run game going.
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, they can just do so much with that offense. But I think they can do, like, that's kind of counterintuitive. Like, I think they can do so much with that offense to the point where Ronald Jones is just kind of 34 yards, 10 carries.
So still got to go up against Aaron Donald in the middle there.
That's the thing. You still have Aaron Donald. The Rams defense by no means is bad. Look what who did they just beat? I know they won last week.
They beat Seattle.
I was going to say, I thought it was Seattle.
I picked them winning.
Yeah, the Rams the Rams are quietly a contender this year, I think. And then with that being said too, I think Ronald Jones, I say this too, like when I'm drafting players, like I'll try to avoid last year's stats.
Yeah.
Like Peyton Manning, perfect example. When Peyton Manning set the single season touchdown record with the Broncos, he was getting drafted like first overall, like in some leagues. Like he was a top 10 draft just among everybody. And I don't think any quarterback, no matter how good you are, should ever go that high, just because of the position and the lack of players at running back. Like I think you need to draft running back first. And yeah, I think this is the same case scenario. You're going to be chasing last week's stats. It's not going to happen. Not against the Rams.
Wide receiver, I'm going Cooper Kupp. Kind of goes in line sitting with Jared Goff. If Goff isn't going to play well, his receivers won't play well.
Makes sense.
That's really all I got to say about that. If your quarterback struggles,
he's been hit or miss this year too.
Cooper Kupp. And if once again, your quarterback struggles, your receivers are going to struggle.
Yeah.
That's quick take on me right there, or my take.
It's your receiver.
I would sit Brandon Cooks versus New England. I think he's gonna get shut down. He's so hit or miss, but also like I almost never seen like a former Belichick guy like ever go off versus the Patriots either. I don't think Bill will allow it. Like just strictly ego wise.
You see
New England also.
You see what Cam said about Bill too?
What?
He's like, yeah, this dude's psychic. He's like, he tells me, like he predicts how most every game is gonna go.
Yeah.
Like before Cam's like, this is unbelievable with him.
It's Bill Belichick.
It's Bill Belichick. Like
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I think he's gonna.
I know. Like if anything, is gonna be the only problem we're gonna have that game is Watson's ability to be mobile.
Yes.
That's going to be our own.
But I think the secondary will be able to shut down Cooks because J.C. Jackson proving is that he slowly is going to become a number one cornerback, and Stephon Gilmore is still a number one cornerback. So
it also, yeah, if Gilmore also comes back too, it's going to be almost
game
no fly zone for Watson because I mean Cooks is straightaway speed. Fuller, you pray stays healthy, but like I mean, he's still a talent, but.
Cooks is going to struggle.
Cooks is going to just be
funny you mentioned that actually about New England's corners and J.C. Jackson. One, he's leading the league in interceptions at the moment.
Yes.
He's had an interception
past 5 games,
which is a franchise record, and he was undrafted.
Yeah,
I had no idea he was undrafted.
I didn't know about being undrafted.
Isn't that fucking
nuts?
nuts?
That is unbelievable.
So, that's so sick.
He's becoming a number one cornerback.
Last year was undrafted too.
Another good point, actually.
So
last year too, the 2 best corners like ranked, and your argument for this was obviously. J.C. Jackson's getting the number 2s. The 2 best corners ranked at like catches allowed, stuff like that. Like it was Pro Football Focus's numbers. 1 and 2, Stephon, J.C. Jackson.
Exactly. So if Gilmore comes back this week, Cooks ain't doing nothing.
I can agree. C.D. Lamb, sitting him against the Vikings. Vikings defense is abysmal. Andy Dalton's coming back. I still don't like C.D. Lamb. I think the Cowboys are that bad.
It's not so much I don't like C.D. Lamb.
Their quarterback is a revolving door right now.
Yeah,
same with their offensive line. Like they're gonna keep trying to lose. They're gonna keep giving the ball to Zeke 25 times because you paid the man $90 million. You're gonna use and abuse. Like, you're use and abuse, baby. Like, and I think C.D. Lamb's fantasy relevance actually for most of the year is probably dwindled, just because. Dak's gone. And I don't blame CeeDee Lamb. I love him, actually, as a receiver. I think he's better than Jerry Jeudy, who was in that draft class, better than Henry Ruggs. Like, he's going to be the best receiver out of that class. But I don't think we see it the rest of this year.
Yeah, no, it definitely not. Tight ends, I'm sitting Noah Fant.
Yeah, you've just had shit luck with him.
Yeah, I've followed him throughout the year. I think he's a good tight end, but
It's the Broncos.
It's the Broncos. They're just such a mess. Plus, they're going up against Miami's defense, which has proven they're quietly getting better every week.
Ninth best defense.
Exactly. So they're up there. I see him getting abused in this game. Like I just don't see him making big plays. Yeah. Once again, their quarterback's been changing throughout the year because Drew Lock was out, and then he comes back.
I feel so bad for them.
And just the amount of injuries. I don't think Noah Fant has as much of a supporting cast as we thought he was going to have around him. I see him struggling again.
Fair enough.
I would sit Gronkowski this week.
I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah. He torches. Well, Gronk will torch the bad teams as he should. But like just looking at it, like New Orleans isn't terrible, but they're serviceable defense. And he only put up.
They're
a
great
point.
defense.
He had a catch for 2 yards.
Well, I think that's because the whole team struggled that game.
I know, but I'm just saying. But like he lit it up against the Giants. Green Bay's defense not good, and then they weren't using him before that. But he did well against the bad teams, and the Rams' defense is actually pretty good, and they're gonna. I mean, they got weapons, but
the big thing with the Bucs too is where the fuck is the ball going every week?
Oh.
Scotty Miller.
Like that's the thing. That dude could get 25, and I wouldn't even bat an eye.
No,
I'd be like, that makes sense. Like short white guy. He was on the play for 4.
Yeah,
he was on the field for 4 plays, got 4 catches, 4 touchdowns. Like
right.
Like there is so much to go around with them.
Yeah,
but I can agree.
Yeah.
So, who are they playing actually? The Bucs.
Oh,
they're playing the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit,
I just said that.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Sorry, Faye. I don't listen to you.
Oh, no. I didn't listen to myself. I forgot, too. That's fine.
Tight end, Dallas Goedert. I hate Philly. I hate them all. I think that team is like
they won a Super Bowl and they're like, we're gonna go back to back. Where have you been since?
Dallas guy Zach Ertz is out. There's no offensive line. They're going against Washington. Or no, they're going against Cleveland, right?
I'm not sure.
Washington or Cleveland?
Either way.
Both
good pass rushes.
I was gonna say phenomenal pass rushes, and that's the thing. There's no O line. Like they like I said earlier.
By the way, it's not
Line,
Washington. I'm looking at my notes. It's definitely not Washington.
Cleveland. Yeah. Either way, they are. It's like a revolving door offensively. He's like one of the only weapons that's alive on that team. Like everyone's gone. It's just Carson, and he is not doing good. So like. Yeah, same concept with why you're not starting Cooper Kupp. I am not starting Dallas Goedert.
So defenses, this is why I know it's not Washington.
Fair enough.
So I would sit Washington. Because Joe Burrow is the man. I know they have a good pass rush, and I know that the Bengals have a bad O-line.
Yeah. But
besides the good pass rush, oh my God, Joe Burrow is going to light up Washington. Light up. Folks. Oh my Lord. Yes, sit Washington.
Oh my Lord.
Lordy. Sit Washington. It's gonna be so bad for them. Joe Mixon's still there. Or he's coming back, I think. Joe Burrow is the man. He has proven it time and time again. The record might not show it, but my God, the stats do. He's a top 5 passer in the league. At least I know they just had a bye week.
He's my rookie of the year.
Yeah, sit Washington, folks. Don't play them. They're projected pretty high.
Yeah,
cut it.
That's one of those. This is one of those weeks too, where it's like, I like as much as Washington has quietly impressed.
I wouldn't say impressed.
They're literally their name is the Washington Football Team, and they are winning some games. Okay, that is more than I thought was going to happen this year. I thought they were going to be by far the worst team in the league. So they've been better than I thought they were going to be. But yeah, no, Joe Burrow's the real deal. Like, I'm not gonna bet against him. At least not against an average defense. I mean, the Steelers are one thing. It's the Steelers, but like, I don't know. I'm sitting the Chiefs. Chiefs versus the Raiders.
Oh, their defense sucks.
Oh yeah, well,
it's awful.
I wouldn't. They're like a top 10 defense actually, like statistically this year. But I just think against
when your quarterback puts up 40 points a game.
Well, they're going against the Raiders, and the Raiders actually already beat them. They're talking a lot of smack, and I actually think the Raiders could take both games this year. I think if
that'd be huge.
That'd be
huge.
That'd be so good.
Division.
I think the Raiders, because like the Raiders are such a weird team. They're such a wild card team because one week I'm like, holy shit, they look like they have it all. They look like they have the O-line, the running back, the quarterback, the receivers, the defense. And then the next week, I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like,
What is
so,
this, Milwaukee?
I'm sitting the Chiefs. I think the Raiders, if there's one team that's going to do it, it's them because I can't predict anything they do. So, yeah, I'm sitting the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm sitting the Ravens defense.
That's fair.
Oh, they've not been playing well.
No, and Damian Harris torched them, and they're playing Tennessee this week, and Derrick Henry is a running redwood tree.
Wow. I love that analogy.
Oh my god.
Running?
Dude's a brick house.
I'm just imagining it on a shirt now.
Dude,
Derrick
that
No.
dude, to say that Derrick Henry's a whole man is just putting it lightly. Like,
Two.
and Damian Harris put up what, one something?
Decent, yeah.
Yeah, torch them.
Yeah.
You can't even blame the weather because he was running. Wasn't like a pat. No, he was running the ball. That was it. Derrick Henry's probably there's gonna be fair weather most likely. Derrick Henry's just gonna run all over that defense.
If I had to choose, I would take Derrick Henry over Damian Harris.
I mean, I'm not debating that in a second.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I don't know. Haven't seen a lot of Damian. Actually,
yeah, I think Tennessee's gonna wax them this week. So
Tennessee's they're gonna bounce back too because they've lost 2 in a row. Yeah, I don't think they lose 3. I think they're too good of a team.
And kickers?
Figure
Highest
the fuck out.
projected. That's all.